Well, hey guys, welcome back to our little mountain life. My name is Don, and we owe you a big time update. We actually haven't shown you guys an update inside the house in over 5 months. And that doesn't mean that nothing's been getting done in those 5 months, but not a lot's gotten done in those 5 months. If you've ever built a home, you know that the finishing, the inside, like the actual finishing, trim, all that kind of stuff is like the longest part that takes forever, and there's all the little nitpicky things you need to do. And this winter was extremely hectic. If you've been following us on Facebook and Instagram, you know that I got into a car accident. I got ran off the road by a semi-trailer. I'm fine, didn't get really hurt, but our Subaru Impreza was totaled. Geico gave us a $15,000 check and we had to buy a new car. So if you've ever had to go through that before, you know it's all dramatic and takes a lot of your time. We were able to get a newer Subaru, the Subaru Ascent with 3 rows, and that's been great. We had to upgrade the tires right away to handle our mountain road. We had to put some skid plates underneath it. I'm really trying to make this thing like kind of like an off-road family vehicle, and that's why Subarus are awesome. And it's much bigger, which we need because the girls have picked up hockey. Several nights a week now we've been taking them to the ice rink. Luckily it's about a half hour from here, so that's not too bad of a drive. But the girls have picked up hockey and skating. They love being on the ice, and if you know me personally, you know that I love that very much. My former life, I was a competitive figure skater. Grew up skating like 5 days a week and did a lot of training. It was my whole previous life 30 pounds ago and all. So it's cool to be back at the ice rink with the girls. They're having a lot of fun on the ice, and we've been really having a lot of fun as a full family skating around doing our thing. And speaking of skating in the cold ice rink, we wanted to bring up our friends at Ororo. Kind of hard to say, but they make heated jackets and accessories and apparel for you if you're in a cold area. They do a great job. They're really easy to use. They have a little power bank that goes inside your pocket, and we've been going to the ice rink every week, like I said, and it's nice to be like, maybe it's a warm day and you're walking inside, and I got my vest on, but I walk inside, it's super cold in the ice rink, and I can just turn it on and keep warm, and then I can turn it off once we get used to the temperature. Natalie has her jacket as well, and I have a vest. We've been using it almost every day, especially in the winter time. So we want to thank them for sending these to try out. They are very comfortable, they look nice, and they work as advertised. So definitely check them out if you're ever in need of some heated apparel. It's good stuff. Some of the worst drama from the winter months, and the reason why progress has been slow inside, has to do with this big canopy tent. One of the biggest issues with our home build is I have not had a dedicated shop space or a garage or anything like that where I can set up my tools and leave them in one place. And I thought it's time to finally set that up, and so I don't have to keep breaking down the saws every time it starts to sprinkle outside. You know, we don't want to ruin our equipment and our tools. So we have this giant canopy, and they sent us the wrong one. That was all dramatic and dealing with a company overseas. But then the worst part was, once we got it set up, started having these massive, horrible windstorms. I mean, we're up on the mountain, wind is expected, but it was really bad. And I've had canopies flip over and set them up before, and the issue here is that we're on gravel, and even though I had stakes in the ground to hold it in place like you normally would, it just pulled right out. And so 3 times we had this canopy flip up in the air, go airborne, and flip over. It flipped into the yard up behind the house, and it flipped back here by the generator in between the house and the hill behind us 2 times. And unfortunately, we had some damage to the house. It actually hit the house 2 times and dented the metal, kind of ripped the metal in a couple spots. So that's like, it was not good. It took way too much time and stress and energy out of our lives to have to figure out how to set this thing up so that I could have a dedicated working space, but have it so it won't fly away. So I have T-posts in the ground now. I have anchor points. I have one anchor going from the very top of the roof over to the tree, one of the trees that was cut down. So it's holding in place now. But I'm not joking. When it flipped like 3 times in 3 weeks, it was just demoralizing. Like I have to have a space to work and get projects done, and that space kept being destroyed over and over again. I even had the metal pieces, each time it flipped over, new pieces were breaking. I had to keep reinforcing those broken pieces with better hardware. it's over with, we can move on. I have been using it for a workspace, which is why I was able to actually get some progress done inside the house. So let's talk about what we've actually got done over the last 5 months. So finally, inside the house, I was able to get the trim done all around the windows. I took several truckloads of pine board and cut it down and got it in place all around the windows. It took a lot of time kind of making all the custom cuts and blocking things out so it fit perfectly. But all the trim inside on the windows is finally finished. Oh boy, it feels good to say that. We're gonna paint it eventually, but right now we have a lot of other projects going on and it looks good in place now. So we're gonna leave it as is. You can see in the video clips that I do have the electronic shades in place. They are installed. They're from selectblinds.com. Definitely not sponsored by them, but that's where we got those. They work great. You give them the measurements of your openings and they send you what you need. We got them set up so it's all done by remote control. Obviously, with the windows being that high off the ground, we didn't want to have to climb up to actuate a physical handle or switch. So those blinds work great. It does a great job keeping that morning sunlight out of our eyes, and it gives us some nice privacy in the house as well. So the next thing that we're getting done in the house is trimming out the trusses. The trusses are scissor trusses that were put in place, obviously, when the house is built. And they look okay, but they're not finished. And there's some trim that I need to add around them, and I need to finish painting them. So I have the scaffolding back out in the great room, which is really annoying to have scaffolding in your house, but it is what it is. So hopefully in a video coming up, I will show you guys the process of wrapping those trusses or trimming them out in some way so that they look nice and maintain that kind of open feel, especially in the great room and up in the girls' loft. And we'll get those painted, and the goal is to get all that done before Audrey's birthday party at the end of May. We have a lot of work coming up. Other projects will come up after that. It's always something and we're always busy. So thanks for bearing with us as we haven't really shown you too much inside the house. It gets frustrating when progress is so slow, but we appreciate you guys bearing with us, and we'll see you guys on the next video.